Hello guys, here is JNM with a new work in process video for my game Erwin's Timewarp made with Unity 5.6. Today I want to show you how to import a legacy model and change the import in a way that we can use Mecanim for animations, an animator controller and all this stuff. There's also a coding part with C#, so there's a lot of stuff to learn. So here's my legacy model. It's not made for Unity 5, I think it's made for Unity 4. But anyway, let's just drag it into the scene and scale it up. It's a bit small. Okay, and rotate it. And as you can see, it doesn't come with an animator controller. It has animations, but it doesn't have an avatar. So what I will do is I will re-import it. And here under rig, you can see the animation type is legacy. And when I switch to the animations, let's find an animation that can be used as an idle animation, and this is this standing free animation. Okay, this will be my default animation in my animator controller, but first I have to change the rig for the import from legacy to generic. Now let's switch to the rig again and select generic, and when I press apply it is re-imported and an avatar is generated. And now I can use an animator controller. Loop is set to true, that's fine. Okay, here is the animator. And what I need now is an animator controller. And there's a nice trick to create one. Just drag the animation you want to use as a default animation onto the character. And now the animator controller is created. I renamed this to Samurai. And then let's open this. And here you can see the default animation is the standing free animation. Okay, that's nice. Now let's use this controller here in the animator. And he has a lot of weapons here. Let's hide this axe and this bow and all this stuff. I just want him to carry the katana. So these are all separated game objects, these weapons. You can just select and deactivate them. Okay, now the only one that is active, no, this one also, the arrow. Okay, now we only have this katana. Let's see how this animation will look like. Really cool, yeah, I like it. Okay, now the next step. This is a kind of guard for this bridge, okay, so the character, the player, Erwin, shouldn't be able to walk onto the bridge. Now he is, as you can see. So we need a kind of wall or barrier. For example, a box collider, okay? So that he isn't able to step onto this bridge. So I create an empty game object and add a box collider to it. I call this Samurai lock or block or whatever. Okay, and now press add component and select box collider. And the colliders in Unity 5 have this nice feature that you can switch to an edit mode and drag these faces to change the shape and the size of the box colliders. Move it to that position here, that should work. And now let's start again and check if it is not allowed to step onto the bridge. Okay, very nice. But now I want this samurai character to turn towards the player so that it feels like he is watching him. And we have to code. Yeah, great. Coding. We have to add a C# script to the samurai. But don't be afraid of this, and I also added some helper methods that I'm going to show you now. But first let's add the script. So with my samurai character selected, I press Add Component, select New Script, and name this Samurai. Okay, now I drag my new script to my level 3 folder to keep these things organized. Okay, and then let's open the script in Visual Studio. And what is interesting for us is the update method that is called once per frame. And I created a character util class with a method called rotate towards. And this can be used to let this samurai character rotate towards our player. Okay, I have to include the namespace. And now here is the static method rotate towards. The first parameter is the player, the second parameter is the NPC that is going to rotate. And then there is a speed parameter for this rotation with a default value of 2. We keep this and don't use this parameter. This means that the default value is used. And if you're interested on how this rotate towards is implemented, here is the implementation. First I get the direction from the player and the NPC normalized, and I get the rotation as a quaternion by using the look rotation, and this one I assign with a quaternion slurp to the rotation of the NPC. This makes it a smooth rotation. And again check if it works. Yes, this works. Now this samurai character is watching every step of us. Alright, cool. Now the last thing that I want to show you is to let the samurai talk to the player. Here I created a 64 image and I turned this into a sprite, and this is the face of this samurai. And I will use this in a so-called talk panel I created that is added to a canvas and is used like a kind of message box. It has the image of the character who speaks and one sentence as a text field. And we will trigger this again in the samurai script. I want to let him talk to the character when he has a certain distance to him. Therefore I will copy this logic from a script, the spider script. Here is the logic to calculate the distance between the player and a character. This one here, I just copy this distance calculation, and also the if statement. Great, now if this distance is less than 5, magic number here, then I want the message box to appear with the image of the samurai and one sentence. But before I can do this, I need to assign the sprite to a class called Game Manager. In this Game Manager class, I have all the images of the characters assigned as public variables. And now I'm going to add one variable for the samurai. The type is a sprite. It is public because I need to assign it from the outside. Okay, now I compile, and when I open my editor again, you will see that there is a new slot for the samurai that I can drag the sprite into. Great, and now open the samurai script again and pop up the talk panel. But how to do this? Well, I wrote a little helper for this. It's called Action Manager, and it has a method called Open Talk Panel. The first parameter is the sprite that we have now available in our Game Manager. And the second parameter is a string, and this is the sentence the character is going to speak. And he says to the player, crossing the bridge is forbidden. Yeah. And there's also a time parameter. This is the time this panel is going to stay active. But again, I will not use the parameter. I stick to the default, which is 3 seconds. Now start the game. And here you can see it already pops up because we are near this character. Now let's wait here, 3 seconds. Now move towards the samurai, and yeah, here it is popping up again. So great, this works. As a next step, well, what could be added? Perhaps this samurai is going to be really aggressive, using his katana when we stay longer than a certain period in front of him. Something like that. But hey, you could also send me your ideas, okay? Just tell me what you think. I'm very open to this. And in the end, I want to show you how this Action Manager and Open Panel stuff is implemented. Here's the method Open Panel. I have this Talk Panel, which is a rectangle. Just a simple UI component that is added to a canvas. And it has an image and a text, also UI components. So let me show this in the editor. Here this talk panel can be assigned this rectangle to our HUD. Let's search the HUD. This is the canvas. Okay, and this canvas has the talk panel assigned. This is this box here at the bottom. Here it is, and it has an image and a text. And in my Action Manager, which is a game object with a singleton script assigned, I know these image and text components, and I'm able, when this Open Talk Panel is called, to use the parameters for the image and the text as inputs to these components. And I also have the possibility to set the talk panel to active or inactive. This is opening and closing. That's the whole logic. So thanks for watching. I really hope you liked the video, and if you do, then let me know. And as I said, please send me your ideas, for example here in the comments of the video. Then I can think about adding them to the game and perhaps include these topics to my tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to not miss a future video.